All right, I'm going to get right into this. I'm just going to sum up the video first, and then I'll just back up what I said with some evidence after that, because it might be a longer video. So basically, the reason why I understand that Trump needs to, whoops, needs to import all of these high-skilled workers from foreign countries, mainly China, Taiwan, and I guess some from India, but I think the Indians aren't really doing the super high skill stuff. I think it's mainly people from Taiwan and South Korea that are doing like this super high skilled microchip stuff. And also they're doing a lot of super high skilled stuff with the large language models, military level stuff basically. And we're in a type of Cold War with China for this type of stuff. And that's why they're spending so much money and so much resources on building these data centers. And in fact, most of the consumer AI stuff is really only to fund this higher tier, higher layer of AI that's going on between, large corporations and the government. It's kind of similar to how, the XXX stuff kind of funded the internet at first. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the consumer level stuff funds the higher level stuff. So here we're going to look at a clip of what Elon Musk was talking about on Joe Rogan last time he was on there. And see what he says about it. I think that'll kind of get to it.
Phones will evolve into AI edge nodes, devices serving mainly as screens and audio hubs. There will be no apps or operating systems, only direct interaction with AI that anticipates users' needs.
What we call a phone will really be an edge node for AI inference with some radios to obviously connect. But essentially you'll have AI on the server side communicating to an AI on your device, formerly known as a phone, and generating real-time video of anything that you could possibly want. And I think that there won't be operating systems, there won't be apps in the future. There won't be operating systems or apps. It'll just be, you've got a device that is there for the screen and audio and for and to put as much AI on the device as possible, so as to minimize the amount of bandwidth that's needed between your edge node device, formerly known as a phone, and the servers.
So if there's no apps, what will people use? Will X still exist? Will there be email platforms?
You see, when he's saying the servers, he's basically saying that everything's going to be on like this central cloud, right? So we'll get more into it, but that's like my basic gist, is that they're really working towards this AGI, whatever, super powered AI that's going to be like, it's going to be so powerful that it's going to have to be centralized. Because it's kind of like how, remember in the 50s and 30s, they had those huge rooms full of computers. Then the only reason why they actually shrunk them down, this is what Terrence McKenna was joking about, said the only reason why they shrunk them down was so that they can put them on a missile. And then he was like, yeah, and then one of us hippies came along and was like, hey, you could actually do other stuff with that other than blow people up. And they're like, maybe we can. That was a joke, though. It was pretty funny, I think. Okay, so we've got all this stuff that DARPA's working on. This is kind of like the higher level military stuff that they do. No, I don't need that. These cyber challenges, where it's basically like AIs fighting against AIs, trying to hack into each other. High level. And it's like, this is about like AI war fighting, cyber intelligence, stuff like that. I forget what this one is. Yeah, this one is cyber challenge. That's like the full website for it. AIcyberchallenge.com. And see, they're paying out to teams, and see Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Linux are all there with the DEF CON people who are like the world's best hackers, basically. And they're taking part of this. They get paid out when they basically complete these types of challenges for the government. Right. And then here we have an article from the Council on Foreign Relations about the AI race, the China United States AI race. And there was something in here they were saying about how they were gonna, how the apps was kind of like a side thing. Trying to find that part. It's kind of hard. Okay, well, China is certainly working to improve its large language models too. It is pursuing a somewhat different strategy by choice or necessity. China is less focused on large frontier models such as ChatGPT 5 and more focused instead on wiring intelligence into the physical economy at scale. As Fareed Zakaria and Eric Schmidt have noted, Chinese President Xi often frames AI as application-oriented, and Beijing policies and procurement decisions reflect this vision, such as city brain pilots that fuse traffic cameras to Internet of Things sensors and other devices with autonomous vehicles, right? Trying to find the part. So basically, China is already up on the smart city stuff. Where was that? No. He said, to paraphrase some Chinese experts on Weibo, ChatGPT outputs are capitalist drivel. Sounds about right. All right, I'm not going to read through this whole article, but basically that's what this article is about. That basically China is going to be doing more of the smart city stuff, and we're moving more towards trying to like build some super AI using this large language model and just keep on building and building this large language model until it basically becomes like smart or something. I don't know if that's a good strategy, but that's what they're doing. Okay, so this is this year's DARPA challenge, the 2025. Basically, they're making AI unmanned aircraft systems, UASs. And so these are going to be replacing probably pilots, military pilots very soon. It's Gundam Wing. Okay. So here is where we find out where the world's most advanced microchips are. This is from, what is it, Science Alert, and it was in April of 2025. And basically, this is the company here. I already clicked the link over. This is the company here, TSMC. I don't know what that stands for, but they make the 2 nanometer microchip. You can see it's been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. These are all the microchips that they make. And then we've got where they're located. This one's in Taiwan. Those are the corporate headquarters now. And then here are the fabrication places. They're pretty much all in Taiwan, 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 Taiwan. This one's in China. They got one in the United States, one in Taiwan. And these are the advanced ones. They're Taiwan, 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 Taiwan. All the advanced ones are in Taiwan. And so at least the government believes that they need to secure these in order to, you know, advance AI for military defense and stuff. I really would like to find that one little spot though. And that they're basically, you know, that's what it is. They're using this system now, but eventually it's going to be phased out. I mean, it's kind of like how cell phones were at first. At first, you could just get a cell phone for free, but when everybody didn't have one, and then once everybody had a cell phone, now you have to pay for them. Or like originally, the internet was like free and you could do whatever you wanted and say whatever you wanted and post like the most graphic. I mean, I remember they used to have like Faces of Death and all these crazy websites. I mean, you can still find them, but it was just like easy to type in, and Girls Gone Wild and stuff like that, where it was like pretty much illegal, almost the stuff that people were doing, and they were getting away with it. And now you can't even like swear. It's like, what's it called? Freaking Demolition Man, where you get a ticket if you swear. See, so basically they're defining AGI as something that'll be able to self-improve and surpasses the cognitive power of human beings and is capable of executing real-world knowledge work tasks. China is not years behind us in AI, maybe 3 to 6 months. No one can really be certain what that means, whether that's true, and whether it really matters, right? So it's like we're neck and neck with them on this. All right, whatever. Okay, so basically, that's really it. It's like they believe that they have to get these microchips from these Taiwanese and Chinese manufacturers, and they're very difficult to get. So I think that's why Trump is bringing over, the workers to basically do this type of stuff. And I mean, I don't think they're going to train Americans. I don't believe that either. I don't. But it's another catch-22, because it's like the military always has that catch-22. It's like we need the military to block, all the people that want to like take down the country. Supposedly, I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what's really going on between the U.S. and China? Because, I mean, it's the CFR. They're saying we're at war with them, or it's some type of competition, right? But maybe it's just two sides of the same coin again, where they're working on the one thing. Because, I mean, that's what has been going on kind of too, where at first China was developing the social credit score, and we were developing this kind of monopoly capitalist system. And now they've both merged. And China has a social credit score and monopoly capitalism, and we have a credit score monopoly capitalism. So I'm sure they're working on the smart city AI stuff, and we're working on the large language model, AGI stuff. And then when we complete both of them, then we'll get the smart city stuff with the AGI stuff, and they'll get the AGI stuff, and they've already got the smart city. And I mean, how we can actually stop this, I have no clue. I mean, sure, we need to defend ourselves from it, but it seems like, so this is why I brought up Gundam Wing, because Gundam Wing really does cover this pretty much. Because I don't know if you've ever seen Gundam Wing, but specifically Gundam Wing, there's a lot of different Gundam series, but Gundam Wing specifically covers this topic. I think it's one of the best shows that covers this topic, because basically what it's about is that in the future, there's two types of people. There's the people that live in space, and then there's the people that live in Earth. And the people that live in space are like super highly technologically advanced, and they fly around killing each other. And Earth is basically left as like a preserve of like traditionalism. So I can see these two visions working together. And because that's how it's presented in this comic or in this cartoon, right? It's like there's the one branch of humanity that kind of branches off into a more militaristic, mechanical, like in spacefaring. They don't really go into space, but they just live on colonies in space, like on Dyson spheres or whatever. And those people are kind of like these people, that those people are kind of like, these people are kind of like the precursors to them. Like, this is what that is, you know, it's like the military technology people building a bunch of military tech and hackers and engineers and stuff like that. And then you see, and then the other side is kind of like this America First movement where people just want to, you know, be a Christian and have a 9 to 5 and a wife and just, you know, kind of live on the planet Earth and go outside in the sunshine and, you know, have some children and eat some healthy food and, you know, not live in a crowded, overcrowded, polluted environment where, you know, there's violence and crime and AI robots monitoring you everywhere you go. And that's kind of like Gundam Wing. That's kind of how it is. You know, it's like the people that live on the surface live in like a kind of rural agrarian system almost, with some smaller and large cities, of course. And they have technology from space, of course, but they don't use it much. Most, when you see like the people on Earth, they live in like, you know, small towns and on the countryside. And then in space is like where all the like super technology is, and all the like war fighting is in space, in between, you know, the superpowers of like the world, right? And then if we look, right, okay, let's check out Space Force. See, there really are space marines. They exist. It's a game, but there are actual space marines. And like I said, you know, like we don't really know what's happening in space. That's one thing is for sure. We don't know who or what are being put on all of these ships and flown up into space, and what's actually happening in space, right? We have no clue. Wow, they got documentaries on here. I might have to check some of this out. You see, it's even like subliminal. They got like the kind of like Star Trek style logo. Like they've been priming us for this. This isn't just like an accident, right? And the fact that they're bringing back Stargate now, I'm really interested in what the plot of Stargate is going to be. Like, I can't lie, I'm really interested, because that stuff is made by the government, no doubt. No doubt they know something. The people that make that know something more than they're telling. And so Space Force is real. And so there is basically a war in space already taking place, and the AI stuff is part of it. And then so, yeah, we need to also balance that with like making a planet that's still livable for just average people. And so I think letting them fight their wars in space is probably the best way for humanity, because it's just like all the other stuff. Like the war does advance, you know, human technology. It would take, or I would say it would take longer to advance human technology without war. It is true. And so this does seem like a very plausible future, actually, even though it seems fantastical at first. Like, let's check out Isaac Arthur, O'Neill Cylinder, that's right. See, this is why I started watching Isaac Arthur, because he started, oh wait, no, it is Dyson Sphere. No, Dyson Sphere is the one where they put it around the whole planet. Yeah, it is. Is it the
Are you looking
O'Neill
for
cylinder?
the most affordable way
Hold up.
to add electric heating and
I'm not gonna
cooling
play the whole
to your
video,
older
but
home? If that
I just want to.
As children,
Oh yeah, check out Isaac Arthur. I already shouted him out though. Oh,
station.
it's
That's
lagging out.
so is a
But
jump.
yeah, you've seen this also in like 2001: Space Odyssey. Let's check out stuff like that, where it's like this. This is pretty much like what Gundam Wing was talking. Like this is like the same thing that Gundam Wing's talking about, like a rotating cylinder where you can have like, you know, farms and cities and stuff like that, and basically be like solar powered, right? And then that would leave Earth basically as like a nature preserve with, you know, the different original cultures. It's similar to Brave New World, but I think this is better because I think the Earth, you know, should remain human, and Brave New World is kind of like that, but the reservation was like that just seemed horrible. Like, you know, like when you read Brave New World and then when he goes with his girlfriend to like the reservation for the weekend, and it's like, oh yeah, and then the Christians are there and they're there with their like religion, and then the people that still want to fight each other, and you know, the people that want to drink and smoke, and they're all just crammed into this little like side reservation in like Arizona because they're like the leftover people that didn't want to go into the new society. Like that vision is horrible. That vision is so horrible. It's kind of like the same thing as those people that lived underground in Demolition Man, because Demolition Man was based on Brave New World, basically. So, yeah, I think I've gone on long enough. I'm glad I did that synopsis thing at the beginning. So, you can kind of see where I'm going with this, where it's like, yeah, we definitely need to have like a human-focused future, a human-centric future with families and children and those type of things, and also balancing that with technological advancements that can really, you know, supercharge humanity to basically to the moon. No pun. All right, so I'm going to get out of here with that. Talk to you later, and peace.